Hello, my name is Jackson Shigelinski, and I chose election interference as my topic for the final project. I chose election interference because it is, again, a relative topic right now in American society and within our government and election system. I also chose this topic because of the current comparisons to the 2016 presidential election and what transpired then, and because of its recency and relevancy, this topic is still in development as well. And it will be interesting to see who will eventually get blamed or prosecuted and whether the evidence shows that there was interference in the end at all. When I collected these tweets, they revealed a lot about the subject and how it is perceived by the American people. It is currently still a split issue. There are not many definitive answers at the moment due to my sources from Twitter. Most believe it was Donald Trump or another member of the GOP, one of the senators or other government officials, but some also believe it could have been done by Biden and the Democratic Party as well. One major topic that is agreed upon by all in this issue is that it was a domestic interference this time as opposed to something that had happened foreign like from Russia in 2016. And another topic that was actually agreed on as well is that everybody wants the party or person who was responsible to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. In these tweets, there are also many reflections back to the 2016 election, as mentioned earlier, as it was found from evidence that Trump was aided by in winning the election with the Russians and their cyber espionage, and this also prompted the hypocrisy of the GOP, and it was recognized by my sources on Twitter as the GOP and many other of Trump's allies did not fully acknowledge any previous interference done by Russia, and now that Trump had lost this election, it was now they were some of the first people from the government to come forward and cite that there was electoral interference in the 2020 election, but had still not claimed to have any interference within the 2016 presidential election. Another topic I uncovered is that due to the COVID pandemic currently and the vast amount of mail-in ballots compared to past elections, there were many possibilities for potential interference, whether that be from at a state level from the senators and governor or the United States Postal Service or USPS collaborating with Trump or others. Many of my sources thought that this was an entirely real possibility and it should be investigated further as well. For my structured and analytic technique, I chose a SWOT analysis because as this situation is still developing, I chose a potential direction that could be followed in the conclusion of these investigations. And that topic itself was to enact further laws and voter protections to prevent future electoral interference in our voting system. And in this analysis, I used the United States as the entity being analyzed, and I used the analysis to test the strengths and weaknesses internally and externally for the United States to create and enact these new laws and protections, and how it would be, how simply or how difficult it could be done due to our government structure, the citizens of the United States themselves, and many other factors. This was also a good method to test the viability of increasing protections as due to the resulting events of the past electoral interference. During this project, I also encountered some challenges as well in a few different aspects. When collecting the tweets from those sources, I found a variety of different interpretations of this same event, this same election, and of how it was possibly interfered with, and who could have interfered with it, how it was interfered with, but no definite source or method of who or what could have done it and how it was conducted. Another challenge I faced was choosing which structured analytic technique to use, as this situation itself is still in development. In the end, I chose the SWOT analysis as it seemed to be the most fitting at the time, and it could be used to determine a potential direction of this situation and how it could be resolved by the government and the people, and what can be done going forward. And finally, I also found the lack of definitive sources as to who interfered with the election and how it happened by the sources of Twitter and other news sources as well to be difficult, as I've encountered many different interpretations of this past election and how it could have transpired. But other than that, I felt that this project went very well and was conducted in a very, very clean manner, and found a lot of useful information regarding this topic and how it can be further combated in the future. Thanks.